Hey, do you like a good mystery? You like a whodunit? Well, man, you're going to love this show then, because today we have a writer. She writes whodunits, but not ordinary whodunits. She is a playwright. She creates a play that you could sit down, eat dinner, and watch. Then you have to figure out who did it and why. Oh man, my name is Vin Discusses. Her name is Leslie Dorler. Leslie, you are a wonderful playwright who conned me into being an actor. And very soon, I am going to actually be in one of your whodunits. Talk to us about who you are, what you do, and what these whodunits are all about.
Okay, well, I'd be happy to do that. And the first thing I'd like to say, as far as who I am, is I need to correct you because it's not Leslie, it's Leslie, because it's a soft S. I'm not a hard S.
Well, excuse me, Miss Leslie.
So now that we have that cleared up.
Well, thank you for pointing that out.
I've been waiting all day to say that.
But I prefer not to call you less because to me, you are more.
Well, less is more. More or
There
less.
you go.
More
or less. Okay, that's the show. Thank you for tuning in.
Well, obviously, I think you can see that humor plays a huge role
Yes,
in my
it
life.
does.
It always has. When I was born, the doctors were laughing so hard they didn't have time to spank me. But I've been acting from the time I was a little girl.
Yeah, this goes back over 20 years for you.
Oh, thank you.
Because you must be at least 27
I'm at least
or 8 now.
29.
Yeah. 29, yeah.
But no, it's true. I've loved acting since I was a little girl. My parents affectionately, I think, called me Sarah Heartburn.
Oh, Sarah, yeah, Sarah Bernhardt,
yeah.
right?
But even at the age 4, when I was in nursery school, I remember playing and acting and trying to write little plays with the little kids. One time it actually even awarded me a 30-minute timeout in the corner. But it's been my passion. And I've been writing plays through childhood, teenhood, young adulthood. And then I met my dear, dear friends, my closest friends in the world, Rose and Jay, who did exactly this. They wrote, directed, and performed in these murder mystery whodunits, and they're comedies. And comedy that just fits my style. They're all so funny. We have an awful lot of time, a lot of fun in our rehearsals, sometimes a lot more fun than we should. And then it's equally fun when we do the performance. That's the whole idea, is to have a fun evening for somebody, make people laugh. I have always loved entertaining.
The first time I encountered this, years ago, we were staying at the Francis Scott Key Motel Hotel in Ocean City, Maryland. And it was a rainy night. And there was a big sign on the restaurant that was in front of the motel. And it said, "Mystery Night tonight. Get involved." And we said, well, it's raining. What else are we going to do? So we went. It was so much fun to watch this murder occur before us and then have them come to us and say, all right, now, who do you think? And then the actors mingled in the crowd, and it was just a fun night. And that's what you do. So you create these little murder mysteries, and people get to watch this play.
Exactly.
So where do you get your ideas?
My ideas come from everyday situations in life. For example, the one that we're currently doing, the Great Debate Debacle, is an election. And because the climate for election in the last couple of years has been so hot.
You think?
Thought, a little bit. We thought, we really have to try to get some humor in here and get people to relax, unwind.
Yeah.
And
kind of get them to laugh at themselves.
oh,
you know?
laugh at everything.
Some of these things
Themselves,
just
the
are not
situation.
funny.
Right. Well, that's very
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
So we tried to pick. We tried to pick a subject that was so non-toxic.
Yeah.
And non-toxic.
Yeah, not toxic for
So when
waste paper basket management.
well, of course, there's waste management, and we said, oh, let's expand on that and go into waste paper basket management. Somebody's running for. You can have a lot of fun with paper.
Yeah.
You can have a lot of fun with the environment. You can have a lot of fun for any clown that's running for that particular
right.
office. No offense intended.
Oh, wait, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah. So that's what we did. We go to the furthest extremes.
And it's a fun play. It is a fun play.
It is.
And this particular one will be performed for a church benefit, which would be fun. And it's an interesting way of being creative. And I like the idea of bringing people in. I mean, the whole idea of dinner theater is interesting anyway. You know, the first introduction I had to dinner theater is I lived in Tarrytown when the Westchester premiere opened, and another when I was a teacher bringing children to the medieval times.
Oh, medieval times.
And it was fascinating to sit there eating a half a chicken with your hands, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
And drinking out of pewter mugs and watching knights lancing each other and a falcon riding around the whole place. It was really very interesting.
And that's a live performance because they do get the audience involved.
Yeah.
And so do we. Of course, we like to feed you before we kill you, so that's why we have dinner.
It's a good thing.
So you don't choke on a chicken bone.
Yeah.
But ours are interactive in that way. There's scripted portions, and which nobody really sticks highly to the script. It's kind of, there's improv involved with it. So you've got a lot of improv and creativity involved in that because each actor brings their own personality into it. And then we have audience participation because we go around and we talk to the different people in the audience. We let them ask us questions. We talk to them. We
careful not to give
all
them
that
too
kind of thing.
many
Don't
clues
give them too many
because
clues.
they have to figure out
who, how, and why.
Who, how,
did
and
it,
why.
how they did it, and why they did it. And we award prizes at the end. Whoever gets the closest to the
So
actual...
it's like an interactive Agatha Christie.
Absolutely, totally interactive. Absolutely, and we even have a few pieces of script that are given to individuals in the audience so that they can participate in that way. But that's the fun part, and and no show is ever the same. You could do the same show 5 different places.
Oh yeah, because it'll change.
It'll change because you never know who's going to say what.
That reminded me of a play that I really loved down the city. I went to see Tony and Marie's wedding.
Oh, the wedding.
What? I mean, that was crazy, but fun. You know, we really ate. They dished out ziti, you know, and you were involved in the wedding, and you were sitting there. And
we let you really eat, too. We don't make you just sit there and look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, we could, but...
Yeah, but no. Yeah, that's interesting. And so they sit and they have dinner. And they actually eat while the play is going on.
Absolutely.
So it's not like you take a break, they eat, and then you do the play. The play happens right through dinner.
Exactly, and through dessert and all that. We take, the breaks that we take, we're never off. The actors are never off. We're always on. So we have our scripted portions, and then during these breaks, if you will, that's when we go and we talk to people. People have to be able to get to know us in order to try to figure out who might have done whatever it is
Why
they
did
did.
they do it?
Why.
So while you're sitting there eating, you have to be listening to possible clues.
Absolutely.
So that they can get an idea of who did this.
Yeah, paying attention is of the utmost importance. And yes, that's exactly what it is. So then we go back on doing our scripted portion while you're still eating. And this goes on, a few times during the show, including dessert. And then we take a break and we collect the ballots because people get to vote.
So they actually get ballots that they have to fill out.
To fill out, exactly, the who, how, and why. Why is always the funniest because some of the Some of the reasons people give us why so and so was killed is just out there. So,
Yeah, some of them are really out there. So they fill out a ballot, and then the ballots are really collected by the cast,
we collect them.
and they're really looked at.
We read every single one, and we vote on which one we like
One
best for most accurate. Oftentimes, we always do at least 2 prizes. There's always most accurate and then a booby prize. And sometimes if we have enough, we'll do a third one, which is most creative. So I call it most accurate, most creative, and most likely never to become a detective.
So so then the winner gets to act in your next play. No.
No, not necessarily. But we're always open.
Is there really
to,
a prize? I mean.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool.
Yep. This is, in fact, this one that we're doing now is a fundraiser for this church. They have lots of different missions that they support, and so the prizes are going to be broken into 2 parts. The winner will actually get something, but they also get a cash amount that's been collected, and they have a list of the different missions that they can support, donated to this,
Wow.
which will be really nice.
That's cool.
I think
it really is cool.
Probably tax deductible.
Wow. So when did you write your first one? What was the
My first murder mystery?
Yeah. What was that like?
Yeah, that question I don't know if I know the answer to. That was probably, actually, I've been doing this for 24 years, so it probably was around that time, because I hadn't actually done anything with that one at the time, but it's the first one I wrote. I was working in real estate at the time, and I was performing with my friends Rose and Jay, and I wrote a real estate. I wrote one using all kinds of real estate terms, which I was hoping, beyond hope, that we could do that at some time. But I left the real estate world temporarily to have my daughter, and
a good
I didn't get back. Yeah. Yeah, they weren't getting much for selling babies at the time. So anyway, I never pursued that. But of course, now that you brought that up, I'm going to have to go back and find that one.
Yeah, find it. Find that first
I
one.
worked hard on those terms.
Now, did you act in your first one? Did you act in all the ones you've written?
I've acted in every single one I've written. Mm-hmm.
You were always...
Sometimes I've killed somebody. Sometimes I've been killed. Other times I have nothing to do with that. We all take turns.
Yeah. And the number of people in the cast, that varies?
It does vary. Actually, we try to stick with my group, my own personal group. We try to stick with 6 people because that's a comfortable number. But one of the first shows that I did for a church who wanted to use their own people, I think they just wanted us to keep adding on more. Oh, so-and-so wants to be it. Oh, so-and-so wants to. So I had to keep adding on characters and carries. We were up to 20-something at one point in time.
That's hard.
And that was way too much. Fortunately, enough dropped out, but we still had, I don't know, maybe 14, 16 people.
Yeah,
it's too much. That's too much, because the more people you have, the longer the evening's going to be.
When I was a drama director for Pelham, I was a drama director for the middle school productions. And I used to get 60 kids who wanted me in a play. So we would do things like we did Huckleberry Finn, and we had about 25 townspeople. So sometimes you just have to be innovative, and try to get as many people as you can. But in this kind of thing, when it's like a dinner theater, geez, that's hard. Has it always been dinner theater, or did you? There's always dinner involved?
Every single one I've done with another group or my own group has been dinner theater, except one. One we did, and that was also for a church. It was a fundraiser, and they wanted to keep the cost down and keep it reasonable, and they wanted every penny to go toward the fund.
The benefit, yeah.
So that we did a dessert. And the evening was called Death by Chocolate. That was what the evening was called.
Death by Chocolate. Oh my God! Still an ice cream flavor. I get it all the time.
However, I have to say, the person who died, it had nothing to do with chocolate. It was just what we called it. It was around Valentine's Day. That's why we had done that.
Oh, that's why. That's funny.
Right, we had a chocolate fountain and everything.
Yeah. Now, the plays generally last about how long?
They're about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Wow, really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a while. Is there an intermission? Oh, yeah, that's when you mingle?
There
really
isn't an actual intermission, no. There's the break for dinner. So you get about 15 minutes of us mingling, and you can talk among yourselves. It's fine. But then we go back. We, the actors, don't really have an intermission other than, like, the person, for example, who's murdered, they have an intermission for the rest of the show, and they can go in the back and they can eat their dinner. But we, who are performing,
we, of course, are not going to mention who gets murdered.
Absolutely not.
In the play I'm going to be in.
We're not going to mention that.
Somebody's going to die.
Yep, it's
but
inevitable.
We're not going to know, and you're not going to know, and we're not going to tell you who's going to die. But somebody is definitely going to die.
Right. And in this particular show, as you know, there are 3 possible endings. Every single one I've ever done has had one ending.
We knew it was. So this is the first time you've had 3 endings?
This time we're doing. Yeah, I've wanted to do this for a long time. We have 3 possible endings because there are a certain number of suspects. So depending upon which ballot comes in and has the best answer, best reason, we're going to go with that one.
Oh, wow. So you're actually going to go with the ending that the winner selects.
Correct.
Cool.
So in a sense, we
but the
don't really
winner won't
either.
know which one. It's already pre-done. I mean, you already have 3 possible scenarios.
Right.
Cool. Very good. So this isn't the end. You're going to keep doing this.
Oh my goodness, I have to. I am compelled to.
It is a passion. It has become a passion.
Humor is a huge part of my life. It always has been. And murder is too. So that's why the two make a really good combination.
So let me ask you, Leslie, where's the novel, the whodunit novel? Why aren't you writing a book, a novel, that's similar to these kinds of things?
Well,
a whodunit.
Funny you should ask.
Yeah.
I have been writing a novel for
18 years?
No, it's been about 5 years at least. I'm up to page 300.
Well, come on.
And it's a mystery. It's not a murder mystery. It's actually a mystery. I love mysteries.
Yeah.
And the reason it's not finished is I'm having trouble ending it. I know how it's going to end. It's just that the minute I end it, it's done.
Yeah, all those people are gone.
And I get so connected, to my stories.
Yeah.
That's even when I read one.
Get that book done.
What are you, my mother now?
Leslie is a member of our Mahopac or Mayapac or Leslie. No, part of our Mahopac writers group, and each week we meet at the Mahopac Library, and writers share the work that they do. And Leslie is part of that group, but I've never seen any of this 300 pages. So when are you going to bring it in?
I don't know. You know, the longer it takes me to write it, I keep going back and saying, let me make a little change here, a little change there. And I really shouldn't do that. That's not healthy because eventually it's going to be a completely different story than I wrote. But that's really what it is.
What's the story about?
It's about, this takes place in Vermont. It starts out as a story about a woman who works for an insurance company, and through different things that she's finding happening in her beautiful apartment, which used to be an old motel, and it's now turned into an apartment, she thinks someone is trying to break into her apartment because she keeps coming back and finding things. No, not a haunting. She thinks somebody is coming in and breaking in. It turns out that it is not somebody else breaking in. It is she who is, when she falls asleep, no, she's not schizophrenic, but when she's got these deep memories of what had happened to her as a child, that are suppressed. She doesn't know anything about her life before teenhood because she was not kidnapped. Something happened to her, which I don't want to say because I'd like to market the book, I think, at some point in time. But something happens to her. She ends up down in New York City being raised by people who really aren't her parents, but that's the life she knows. And she becomes this insurance person and moves back to Vermont because she's drawn back there by some unknown thing, which this is where she was born. So anyway, this goes on, and she eventually finds out that she's the one who's actually, she's not breaking into her apartment, but she's the one who's getting up in the middle of the night and doing certain things and coming back.
Sleepwalking kind of
sleepwalking, sleep doing things, making these changes in her apartment, opening the window. Oh, how did the window get open? I never, And there's one person there who knows what's going on. He realizes who she is. He knew her back when she was little, when she was blind, before she disappeared. She's miraculously gotten her sight back as a teenager in Manhattan. But as I said, knows nothing about the past. But this gentleman suspects who she is, figures it out, puts two and two together, and he helps her on her journey to find out who she was, what happened, and all that. So,
wow.
And he's a
sounds good.
Contractor.
Get it done.
I will.
All right, let's go back to this dinner theater and this dinner theater idea. Are you the only one doing this? Are there other?
Oh, there are many groups out
really?
there. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny because after seeing it in Ocean City, I don't think I've ever seen it on that level. I mean, I don't think I've seen it on any level, to tell you the truth. I haven't heard about it again until I heard that you were doing it.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it's a thing we need to get popular again. It's an interactive, fun thing. I mean, it sounds to me like a nice way to have dinner. Although we do have the Westchester Broadway Theater,
right,
which I've been to several times, and that's an interesting way to have dinner.
Well, they
watch a show while you're doing it.
They do dinner theater, but that's very different because I've been to the dinner theater there, and they do a show and then they break and you have your food, or you eat first and then the show. It's not done simultaneously.
You don't eat while you're watching it.
Right. These are all done in that same fashion. It's all eating.
But so they do a dinner theater there.
They do dinner theater,
Wow.
Westchester. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's interesting.
But this is much more fun than going to the movies, I think. You can go to the movies, you sit there, You're
watching someone else,
And if I can just say, give a little plug for this type of activity. When you go on a date with somebody, and this is something I've always held dear to me, gentleman asks you out, you go to the movies, what do? You sit there, you both watch the movie. How do you get to know each other? You really don't get to know each other during that
especially when the guy behind you is going, shut up!
Exactly, throwing popcorn in your hair.
Throwing popcorn.
But that's not really a way to get to know somebody. But this, you can be entertained, see a show, have dinner, talk among yourselves, get to know each other, have a lot of fun together. It's very different.
We used to entertain ourselves at the movies by holding up those little jujubes and trying to figure out what color they were because it was so dark in the theater. And juicy fruits. Oh, red. Oh, good. Yeah, well, black. So, so it's, fun.
That's the key word.
Yeah,
it's all
fun.
about having fun.
Having fun. And it seems to me that there should be a whole lot more of these going on. And I hope this is going to start a big trend in that direction. So this show is going to be put on at St. John's. It's a benefit for St. John's.
It's a fundraiser.
And it is going to happen in November.
That's November 11th, and that's in Poughkeepsie.
Okay.
We've gone to Saratoga. We will travel.
Yeah, wow.
Brewster's not that far. Carmel's not that far. I'm in Hopewell Junction, but we'll go anywhere that's a reasonable.
So it's an interesting way to give to a
Absolutely.
cause. That sounds like fun, and to get out there and have a good time.
Have a great time.
And for those of you who have actor in your blood, maybe you should get involved in this.
Give me a call.
Leslie has a website. Maybe you could talk to her about getting involved in acting. We've had the website up.
Actually, Leslie's a dinosaur, and Leslie doesn't have a website. Maybe Vinny wants to show her how to make a website.
Oh, Vinny will help Leslie get a free website.
Leslie has
There
an
are such
email
things.
address and a telephone number.
Okay, an email address and a telephone number, and
Cell
that's
phone,
good
yep.
stuff.
Absolutely.
So they can call you.
Absolutely.
And that's good.
I'd love
And
to meet
maybe
with
become
anybody.
actors or
Absolutely. You never know what we can.
Good.
We can always use somebody. I've taken people who are non-actors, and we've plunked them right in there, and they've done fine.
Yeah. Yeah. And they don't become nervous wrecks like this particular actor who's scared to death of forgetting his lines.
If you're a comic, if you're an improv person, if you're an actor, if you just love to schmooze,
Yeah.
and if you like to make people laugh or make them
Or if you're
smile.
a Leo like me,
Like me.
and you like to be in the lights.
Absolutely.
Now,
just call
I
me.
have to tell you something.
Okay.
You blew my mind today because I said I'm a Leo, and I said my birthday was August 14th, and she said mine too. Check it out, man. We have the same birthday. No wonder we have that electricity that happens. That
I always like to say
creative.
I'm a Leo. I'm a Leo the pussycat.
Oh no, I'm a Leo the lion.
Yeah, but I'm a liar.
I always like those lights, the bright lights. Well, thank you for sharing your bright light with us. I love the idea of dinner theater. Thank you for giving our audience an idea of a way to get some entertainment, to go out to dinner and watch some people act, maybe to go to a benefit and try to help others through benefits and through giving. My pleasure, my dear. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us. We are one-on-one, and you are the reason we are on the air. Thank you for being here.